What's going on? I came across a video that I definitely wanted to check out. It's from Fox Sports Radio and The Odd Couple. And I fuck with Rob Parker heavy. And the title definitely caught my attention. That's why I wanted to check it out. It says Shaq vs. Jokic. Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington face off in big debate. Now, if you've been following my channel, you know how I feel about Shaquille O'Neal. And this video is kind of lengthy, so I just want to get right into it. But I have to preface this and say, Shaquille O'Neal is the biggest underachiever in not just NBA or basketball history, but in sports history. This man averaged 23 points a game for his career, 10 rebounds, and 2 block shots, which is decent. Those are decent numbers. For somebody as big, athletic, coordinated, and strong as Shaquille O'Neal, especially when he was in tip-top condition, naturally because he was young, because he didn't care. He didn't care to maintain his conditioning, his weight, or improve his game. But for a freak athlete like Shaquille O'Neal, the likes that we've never seen before, this man should have averaged at least 26 points a game for his career, at least 14 rebounds a game. I don't give a fuck about assists for a big man. And the blocks, he should have been a way better defensive player and should have averaged at least 4 blocks a game. If Shaquille O'Neal wanted to be great, he could have had those numbers and sustained them his entire career. So I just wanted to preface that by saying, I just wanted to preface the video by saying that I don't want to get too deep into it. I have videos explaining my opinion on Shaquille O'Neal, and another day I'll go deeper and further into it. But in comparison to Nikola Jokic, and let me just say this before I get into this shit, man. I don't give a fuck what race, ethnicity, or creed Nikola Jokic is. I don't give a fuck that he's Caucasian, because he's not white. He's not American. He's Caucasian. And I don't give 2 fucks about his color or about his, like I said, his race or ethnicity. It has everything to do with his game and the bullshit narrative behind his game. But if you feel like I'm racist, I don't give a fuck. All the disrespect and bullshit that niggas have had to go through and that still go through in regards to sports media today. All the disrespect. If you think that I'm racist because I have an honest opinion about Nikola Jokic, then so be it. I don't give a fuck. It done been motherfuckers out here calling black women nappy head hoes, classless pieces of shit, NFL players calling black people niggers. The list goes on. So fuck you if you feel like somebody's being racist because they're being honest about Nikola Jokic. Because anyone being honest about Nikola Jokic, in my opinion, knows basketball. Knows that, yeah, this man is a good player. He ain't that fucking good. He's only this good because of the way the game is played today. It's not real basketball. And he does not go against elite competition at his position every single night, if at all. I had a thought earlier when I saw the highlights of last night's game, because I didn't see it. I don't get ESPN. I have Amazon Prime and I have League Pass. That game wasn't broadcasted because it was on ESPN. And honestly didn't care. But when I watched the highlights, I swear to God. I saw Rudy Gobert. Oh, and Rudy Gobert had 19 points and out-rebounded Nikola Jokic as well last night. I think he had 12 rebounds. Christian Braun out-rebounded Nikola Jokic last night. But when I saw, that was just a side note. But when I saw Nikola Jokic and Rudy Gobert going at it, it looked like two old-ass men playing one-on-one at the YMCA or outside at a park. It looked like the Red Mamba and that old-ass Middle Eastern dude that they played one-on-one in New York City, and he always plays against people, the old Middle Eastern looking dude. It looked like that, but just more physical, less intense. But I said, look at this shit, man. And honestly, I thought about somebody like Shaquille O'Neal. If Shaquille O'Neal were to play against Nikola Jokic, he would fucking destroy Nikola Jokic, have him in foul trouble, and Nikola Jokic would be no factor against a real center like Shaquille O'Neal. But yeah, I just wanted to say, man, fuck you if you think anybody, not just me, anybody black is being racist because they have their opinions that are contrary to yours about Nikola Jokic and his game. Because I don't give a fuck about him personally. He seemed like a cool dude. But I'm talking about his game and the bullshit narrative behind it. And before we get into this video, if you are bringing up race to somebody who isn't bringing up race and just giving their opinion on Nikola Jokic, then it's obvious you're fucking racist, especially when it's somebody black speaking on him and being honest about him and objective. That's your racism peeking out and showing its ugly face. But like I said, man, you think I'm racist? I honestly don't give a fuck. Let's get into this video because I definitely want to hear what they're talking about.
Let's do this.
Yeah, change the subject, because I was going to go
So the Joker put on another suitable for framing, a triple-double, 61 points in a loss to the Timberwolves, but he just balled out straight up. We've never seen that, a 60-point triple-double. So we already know. We've talked about he's had all these milestone games this year. He's been incredible. But
one of three, though.
Milestone games. His team's in third place, but they're mediocre. Now, in my opinion, the Nuggets have a good team, but for some reason they're struggling this year. But they have been mediocre. They're actually struggling against the Spurs right now. But Nikola Jokic is a good player. But Nikola Jokic plays in an era, a jump shooting, floor spread, less physical, no post players, no true centers era. He's not even a true center. Someone like Shaquille O'Neal played against great centers every night, going at it on the block every night. Hakeem Olajuwon, David Robinson, who honestly is one of the most underrated great centers ever. Patrick Ewing, Alonzo Mourning, Rick Smits. Yes, you heard me right. Rick fucking Smits, nigga. For the Indiana Pacers, you got Rick Smits fucked up. The list goes on. Dikembe Mutombo. Arvydas Sabonis. That's who Nikola Jokic would be if he played in the 90s. And that's not a knock. Arvydas Sabonis was a good player. He just wasn't great. Average player on a good team. contributing to a good team. That's what Nikola Jokic would be if he played in the 80s, 90s, or 2000s. He only benefits and it only looks like he's balling because the era he plays in. He is not forced or has to play no defense. And on offense, he's not challenged. Oh, and I forgot, Hakeem Olajuwon. If Nikola Jokic had to play against a player like Hakeem Olajuwon, he would be exposed. And you would be like, ah, man, who is this motherfucking African? He's the best center ever. He's the best player ever. Offensively and defensively. And let me just add one more thing to last night's game. I don't give a fuck about no 61-point triple-double with 10 rebounds and 10 assists. Don't give a fuck about a big man and his assist. You had 10 rebounds in 4 quarters and 2 extra. What is that? What are they? 5 minutes? Overtime? Whatever. 4 quarters and 2 overtimes. You only got 10 rebounds. 0 blocks for a center. Plus 2 on the night. That means only 2 of your 61 points were impactful. Let me repeat that. Nikola Jokic was plus 2 with 61 points and a loss. Which means only 2 of those 61 points were impactful. And like I said, Aaron Gordon was plus 16. No, I know it was plus 16, yeah. With 30 points. Very impactful. So Nikola Jokic didn't help Aaron Gordon out much last night. But yeah, man. I just wanted to express that.
Bo, do we have the sound of Shaq? Okay.
Yeah. While we getting that, it's 1 of 3. James Harden and Luka, the other 2. Luka had 61, 20 rebounds. And
3 losers. I said Nikola Jokic has never led the league in any statistical category. Has 1 championship. Wouldn't have that if Jamal Murray wasn't playing. They haven't. And I've seen like comments on Instagram and shit. If you put him with another all-star, he'll win 10 straight championships. No, the fuck he won't. And he does play with an all-star caliber player. His name is Jamal Murray. In my opinion, there's a conspiracy to not vote Jamal Murray on the all-star team. So they can say, so the narrative can be, oh, well, Jokic, he hasn't played with any other all-star, and he's doing these type of things. He's the best player in basketball. He's the greatest ever. If you don't get the fuck out of here with that shit. Jamal Murray should have been a 3, 4, 5-time all-star by now. But he hasn't been because I believe that hurts somebody. That hurts people's argument as him being some great player. And if there's a narrative that he didn't play with any other all-star, it makes it look better than what it is. It's just my opinion. But to say James Harden and Luka Doncic, 2 losers, man, if you don't get the fuck out of here, Kelvin Washington. Luka Doncic didn't and wasn't going to go to an NBA Finals until Kyrie Irving played with him. James Harden is an overrated loser who is not a leader and in my opinion doesn't even give a fuck about winning. He's more caught up in the lifestyle of an NBA basketball player.
10 or 11 assists. And James Harden had very similar stats to Jokic. Utterly ridiculous. And I happened to have just landed, got everything, got settled, got home, kind of took that and looked up and was watching that game. And I'm like, literally every time he has the ball, it's a score or an alley-oop. Like, it's that ridiculous that...
It's just, to watch him is incredible.
And every time they talk about Nikola Jokic, it's offense, offense, offense. Why doesn't anybody ever call out this man and his defense? The lack of defense. Doesn't even have to play defense. 0 block shots for a center. Like I said, I don't give a fuck about a center and his assist. It's not your job. Your job is to score, rebound, and block shots. Don't give a fuck about assists or steals for a center. I know he had 2 steals. So what? You're not detouring, or have anyone scared to drive the ball to the lane and finish. That is not a center. And he has no pressure any night that he plays to play defense. His biggest challenge is Anthony Davis. That's it. Not Karl Anthony Towns, that jump shooting motherfucker. Not Giannis Antetokounmpo. Not anyone. No one. This man is only dominant, or seems to be dominant, because of the era he plays in. If he played in Shaquille O'Neal's era, like I said, he would be Arvydas Sabonis, Zydrunas Ilgauskas. And that's not a knock. He would be a decent player. He'd be better than Sean Bradley. I was going to say Sean Bradley. He'd be better than Sean Bradley, though. But Nikola Jokic would be an average fucking player in the 80s, 90s, or 2000s.
And
It's so YMCA game, too.
oh yeah,
It's just YMCA. Nothing athletic about it. Nothing overly creative. Just this dude who came home from after crunching numbers all day, finally gets a little time away from the kids, gets the Y. You're like, man, I know this dude don't think he coming up here with us, and gets buckets.
and he's just
I'm so glad he pointed that out. Because that's exactly what the fucking NBA is now. When you watch the NBA game, it just looks like a glorified pickup game at the YMCA. So you're absolutely fucking right, Kelvin Washington. Thank you for that analysis. You thought you ate when you said that. No, you actually just exposed Nikola Jokic. For you to say it looks like he's just coming to the Y. Somebody who's just getting time away from his family and kids, and he looks like, oh, you coming out here to play with us? And he gets buckets. Yeah. That's because that's how these motherfuckers are playing, like they're at the YMCA. Ain't nobody really competing, playing defense, really showing a spirit and an attitude to really win. They're just playing and shooting a bunch of jump shots. And it's funny you said that shit about the YMCA as well. Because on the same token, I just said, which is funny, man, I just said that Nikola Jokic and Rudy Gobert look like 2 old, slow motherfuckers playing one-on-one at the YMCA or outside at a park somewhere. When either Nikola Jokic had the ball or Rudy Gobert had the ball. With that weak-ass defense that Rudy Gobert plays, and that weak-ass defense, that no defense that Nikola Jokic plays. So thank you, Kelvin Washington. You thought you ate, but you actually just exposed the situation.
you got to call him almost unstoppable.
He is, because you double team him, you know he's going to find the right player.
Fuck out of here, Rob Parker. You my nigga. Fuck out of here, though.
You don't, that's a mismatch all day. So it's just bad.
Okay, and basically, we're gonna get the sound, but Shaq says
What did Shaq say?
he'd dominate the Joker.
Yeah, Shaq said it. You heard what I said, Rob Parker. I said
And he will. Like I said, I don't fuck with Shaq at all. I don't like him personally. Now, that's one person that I don't like personally. And I think, like I said, he's an underachiever. But yes, for the purposes of this conversation, Shaquille O'Neal will fucking destroy Nikola Jokic. Put that nigga in the basket each and every time. And 2 other of his teammates if they tried to stop him, especially when he was at his physical peak in the early 2000s. Even before that, though. But the early 2000s was his physical peak. Nikola Jokic would get fucking destroyed. And Nikola Jokic probably wouldn't play the whole game because he'd be in foul trouble. And with this team that the Nuggets have now, they wouldn't have anybody else to come in and stop Shaq. And all that carrying he does when he dribbles. That weak ass jump shot, that slow ass weak ass jump shot, and this slow ass weak ass turnaround hook shot will more than likely get blocked. Each and every, especially Hakeem Olajuwon, especially Alonzo Mourning, that shit'll get blocked each and every time. But yes, Shaq, you're absolutely right.
Dominator. I like the Joker. Forgive me. I wasn't familiar with his game. I liked him, but he would get dominated. Barbecue chicken.
Okay. Where are you on the idea of who you would take, Shaq or the Joker? Now, don't get me wrong now. Shaq, there was a 4-year stretch where he was almost unstoppable, but he was also a player that they took out of games
That is true.
because of the hacker Shaq, because he couldn't make free throws. And
Now, he's absolutely right. He couldn't make free throws. But Nikola Jokic missed a big free throw last night as well. Because he's not clutch. And like I said, they need Jamal Murray to get over the hump. Nikola Jokic wasn't playing with Jamal Murray, they wouldn't have a championship. And I don't know. Maybe they give him those MVPs. I don't believe maybe a one-time MVP, but 3-time MVP and making a big argument for 4 MVPs, 1 championship, mediocre seasons, not leading the league in any statistical category. Shaquille O'Neal led the league in score. Usually when you're the MVP, you lead the league in at least one category and your team is good. This motherfucker's never led the league in any statistical category in his life in regards to Nikola Jokic. And 2022-23, when they won the championship, he wasn't the MVP of the league. So you motherfuckers is just giving this motherfucker MVPs. And then the year he should have got MVP, he didn't. This is just a weird ass motherfucker, man. In a weird situation. But yes, Shaquille O'Neal couldn't make free throws. But so what? In regards to Nikola Jokic couldn't do anything with Shaquille O'Neal. And in a game against Nikola Jokic, it wouldn't have to come down to free throws. Because Shaquille O'Neal, either for the Orlando Magic or the LA Lakers, would beat the fuck out of the Nuggets. Out of this Nuggets team that Nikola Jokic plays for. Oh, and one more thing while it's on my mind. Motherfuckers want to knock Nikola Jokic and his teammates, and I said this in a previous video. The only addition to this team has been Russell Westbrook. These are the same motherfuckers he won a championship with a couple years ago and should have won one last year. I was pulling for the Nuggets to win last year. 2 in a row. I thought they were going to win 2 in a row. But they didn't. And shows you just how good and how much of a winner, or how just shows you the lack of a winning attitude and how good really Nikola Jokic is. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with his team. Yeah, they're struggling this year. They're mediocre. They just have to get it together. But this is the same motherfucking roster he won a championship with. So cut the shit.
The games that went at the end, you had to take Shaq out because he couldn't make free throws, and all they would do is foul him. Shaq was a dominant player. There's no doubt about it. I'm trying to think. Kobe won 1 MVP and Shaq won none?
Shaq won 1.
And 1, so they both won 1.
Come on, Rob, my nigga. Yeah, Shaq won an MVP in 2000. Shaq should have won 6 fucking MVPs and at least 7 championships. That's why he's the most underrated player. I'm sorry, he's the most underachiever, the biggest underachiever in sports history. But yes, Shaquille O'Neal has 1 MVP. 99-2000. First championship. A motherfucking beast. A monster, yes.
Yeah. Okay. I can't even remember Shaq, to be honest.
Well,
and I agree with you, Rob Parker. Well, not agree, but I understand where you're coming from because he was an underachiever. But like I said, for the purposes of this conversation, Shaquille O'Neal fucking destroyed Nikola Jokic. In any center from the 90s or 2000, any center or power forward from the 80s, 90s, or 2000s. Let's take it to the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Would destroy any center or power forward would destroy Nikola Jokic.
First, a little bit of his career, you still had Mike. So there's that, because, he came in 93, Shaq. So you still had another 5-6 year, couple years off, obviously, of Mike.
Nikola Jokic in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s will be the equivalent of Luke Longley. We add him in there. Luke Longley, which is a good player. Just not dominant. Not an MVP candidate. The fuck out of here.
Then you had the emergence of, a few, Allen Iverson. You had a lot of one-offs, right? Iverson, then the emergence of Tim Duncan. Obviously, like I said, Kobe. So you had a handful of people who were kind of sneaking in there.
But he was really dominant at one point. I mean, he was. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
It's an easy answer for me. Not an easy answer in the sense that, like, as if one is just dwarfing the other, but just based off what I've seen and what it did to teams. And the answer for me,
one is dwarfing the other, bro. Like I said, it just doesn't seem that way because of the way the game is played today and the rules. But yes, one is dwarfing the other. Shaquille O'Neal had 3 straight championships, 3 straight finals MVPs, and an MVP to his name. And for most of his prime, averaged more than 25 points a game. And led the league in scoring twice. And averaged 29 points a game, I want to say 3 times. 3 times, maybe 4. But I'll get back with you on that.
Is Shaq. Because what Shaq was doing, peak Shaq, if you want to go 97, 8-ish to 01, 02-ish, was depending on which team, like, I'm going to the finals. It's just who am I playing in the Eastern Conference Finals when he was a Laker. Because he was the most powerful player we'd ever seen outside of Wilt. He was freakishly athletic still at that point. Solid defender, not good or great, but solid, better than Jokic.
Yeah, better defender than Jokic. But Shaquille O'Neal should have been a way better defender. Like I said, Shaquille O'Neal should have averaged at least 4 blocks a game. There's no reason why he shouldn't have. And there's no reason why Shaquille O'Neal shouldn't have averaged 14 to 15 rebounds a night every game of his career. If he truly wanted to be great. I believe Shaq wanted to be great. But Shaq was comfortable and satisfied with who he was and didn't want to improve. And I would say somewhat distracted. Especially with this recent shit about Big U and him fucking with Main Street Crips or some shit like that.
And it was just the pressure he applied to teams was we've never seen anything like it again. Sans for Wilt, absolutely dominant. And here's the difference, and it's not a huge gap, but what he would do to teams, defenses and players and foul trouble, like you literally had to say your job today is to get 6 fouls. Normally you play 5 minutes a game where you're gonna get 15 today because we need you to literally foul Shaq. You never ever played. But you're 6'10" to 7'2". We need you in the game for what? To simply foul Shaq, to spell our other guy from not having to foul Shaq. Shaquille O'Neal also, this is one.
Yeah, absolutely. They used to put motherfuckers in the game just to spare fouls. Well, I'm sorry, they used to put motherfuckers on the game just to foul Shaq. just because they had fouls to spare. That's how much of a problem Shaquille O'Neal was. They ain't doing that shit for Nikola Jokic.
People I think will hold against Jokic because when we start talking about the best of the best, we got to nitpick. Jokic didn't have to go up against Alonzo Mourning, Shaq, David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing, Dikembe Mutombo, all of the Tim Duncan, night in, night out. I'm going up against the best of the best of the best.
Thank you, sir. Oh, my mama. This is my first time watching this video. I just named every single player he said. So thank you, sir, for giving what I say a little credibility. He's not playing against players like that. Did you hear the names he said? And if you know about those names and were around, then you know.
Bigs, that's not even mentioned the fours. I was only giving you really the fives.
Exactly.
Obviously, Tim Duncan playing both. That's, to me, is the difference. One of the other differences.
All right, let's hear this.
That's crazy. I just said that. From the 70s to the 2000s, any center or power forward would give Nikola Jokic the business on offense and defense. Like I said, that man will be Luke Longley, Arvydas Sabonis, or Zydrunas Ilgauskas. Good players. Like I said, not considered dominant and fucking multiple MVP winner. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm from Shaq.
2001 Shaq, 2025 Jokic. What happens?
Slavian chicken, wherever he's from.
Slavian chicken.
Slovenian chicken?
Slovenian chicken.
Really? You tear him up?
Yeah.
What's your stat line? What's his stat line end of the night?
Didn't even have to think about it.
I'm
Serbia,
40.
by the way.
I'm getting 40, and they're going to have to double me.
Out here, you'd be hard pressed.
And once they double him, it's over. Kobe Bryant takes over. That man will destroy Nikola Jokic, and the Nuggets would be fucking Serbian chicken. Not only would Nikola Jokic be Serbian chicken, nigga Kobe Bryant, Kobe Bryant had motherfucker serving smothered Serbian chicken, nigga. Fuck out of here, nigga. Over a bed of rice. These niggas the fuck out of here, man.
But he probably won't be in the game while, because after he shoot the
Stat line end of the night.
I'm
Serbia,
40.
by the way.
I'm getting 40, and they're going to have to double me. And he probably going to pick and pop and take me all that, but he probably won't be in the game while, because after he shoot the three, I'm running right to the middle lane, and the whole arena going to yell 3 seconds, and we'll see. And I'm going to hit way more twos than you hit threes, guarantee you that.
I just don't think
Guaranteed. And I'm glad he brought that up, because that was a thought I had. I'm glad that it popped in my head. Nikola Jokic, on top of being in foul trouble and getting his ass cooked and getting shut down on defense, this man will be tired because he fucking doesn't run the floor. I remember a few weeks ago, I saw him walking up the floor. He took the ball out. Jamal Murray or what? Russell Westbrook. Yeah, that's who it was bringing the ball up court. And they had to wait to initiate the offense because Nikola Jokic was literally walking up the court. Back in the day, when true centers were playing the game and being taught to be true centers and post players in development, you were taught to rim run. That means offensive rebound, or we're taking the ball out after a score. You run from the defender's rim to our rim and post up. You post up in the lane. That's why he said 3 seconds. You post up in the lane first. If they don't give it to you within 3 seconds, that's when you hit the block. Shaq will have that man tired from running the floor, and any center back then, especially David Robinson, ran the floor like a damn gazelle. This man wouldn't even be able to keep up, man. This man literally walks up and down the court. Coach, man, if I saw that, hey, man, get your ass down there and run and get on the block. The fuck? Walking. I said, look at this bullshit. And these motherfuckers think he's a GOAT. Or the best player in basketball. In the words of Shannon Sharp. Get the fuck out of here.
I want to see it. I wish I could see it.
And
They're not putting Aaron Gordon on him.
And I'm going to make his brothers want to fight me because the first play of the game, elbows.
You don't want that.
I don't
You don't want
think
them
you want
apples.
that.
You don't want his brothers coming at you.
Shut the fuck up, Candace Parker. And I fuck with Candace Parker. I played at the University of Tennessee, 05 to 07. For all you motherfuckers in the comments that want to know if I was good or not. Now, I ain't trying to toot my own horn. But when Candace Parker said what she said, I had to bring that up. So I fuck with Candace Parker, but fuck out of here, Candace Parker. Nikola Jokic's brother. Man, let me tell you something about Nikola Jokic's brother. Fuck them. Not nobody give a fuck about Nikola Jokic or his brothers, but Marcus and Markieff Morris. Those are the only chumps that are worried about Nikola Jokic and his brothers. Fuck out of here. And Shaq is absolutely right. His brothers would be wanting to fight Shaq. His brothers would be wanting to fight Charles Barkley. Ben Wallace. Nigga. Damn near Alonzo Mourning. Damn near Patrick Ewing. Wasn't none of them motherfuckers going for bullshit. And that's the thing with players then. Not only were they good, skilled, tough, they weren't really about to play with you, man. You gonna play basketball and be competitive, yeah, but cut all that bullshit out. And fuck your brothers.
I got brothers.
Come on, Twitter.
What you
Come at
mean?
me with the.
He has
I got
brothers.
No, have you seen his brothers?
And have you seen my brothers? Watch this. See? Yeah, see? See, Candace, some worldwide.
Serbian chicken.
Serbian barbecue chicken.
All right, I'm going to go with the Joker. Three out of 4 MVPs. Won a championship without another All-Star on his team. He's unstoppable. He's done stuff.
Fuck out of here, man. 3 out of 4 MVPs. I say maybe 1, if any, he deserved. This man, again, has never won, has never led the league in any statistical category. Not points, not rebounds, not blocks, nothing. And the year he probably should have won it when they won the championship, he didn't win it. He came in second place. So please miss me, Rob Parker. And that's my nigga. I fuck with Rob Parker heavy. But please stop, Rob.
No one's ever done. I don't know if I were to ask you, tell me something Shaq did that no one else has ever done in the NBA. I don't think you could say that.
Probably not.
No, you
Probably
can't. That no one else.
Other than break backboards
No, but
and
other
bring them
guys have done that.
No,
But-
they haven't brought the whole stanchion down.
But he played with Kobe Bryant.
He did.
Can you imagine if the Joker?
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, Rob Parker. And yeah, you don't really think about Shaq, so you're excused. Shaquille O'Neal's career high is 61 points. Shaquille O'Neal, I remember this. And I want to say it was against the Clippers. I remember that night. Shaquille O'Neal's career high, 61 points. So, Rob Parker, Shaquille O'Neal has done something that Nikola Jokic has done just last night.
Play with Kobe Bryant? No, seriously. 3 championships in a row. 3 in a row. It would be 10 in a row, okay?
Go ahead.
10 in a row.
Go ahead, because I have my counter.
Okay.
I'm about to Floyd Mayweather.
Okay.
You're about to counterpunch this.
And the other thing is, anybody who has to be removed from the end of games because they can't make free throws cannot be on the level of the Joker, who can make shots from everywhere, 3 points, make free throws, grab rebounds. Shaq, Did he have the greatest rebound numbers and all the other stuff that goes with being a big man? No. I mean, he wasn't that type of player. Was he dominant offensively and dunked every shot he got near the basket, and that's what he should have done?
Mm-hmm.
But when you come out of a game, when your team needs you, because you can't help them, I can't pick that guy over the Joker. I've never seen...
Man, honestly, bro, the Joker ain't doing nothing towards the end of the game. They defer to Jamal Murray when they need a big play at the end of the game or a big bucket. They do not go to Nikola Jokic. And like I said last night, Nikola Jokic missed a big free throw. So I understand where you're coming from, Rob Parker, because that is absolutely true. That shit's serious out there, boy. But you're absolutely right, Rob Parker. Shaquille O'Neal could not play at the end of games, and that's one of my knocks on him. But in regards to Nikola Jokic and the comparison, Nikola Jokic is the same way. It's just parallel, that's all.
Anybody score with so much ease, and there's no answer for him.
So here's my
Wallace was an answer for Shaq in the 2004 NBA Finals. Go look at it.
Absolutely. Ben Wallace was an answer for Shaq. But that's the thing, sir. That's who Shaquille O'Neal was playing against. Nikola Jokic isn't playing against motherfuckers like Ben Wallace. So it's easy to say that. We have to take that into account, man. Who he's playing against at his position in this era. And that's absolutely no one.
No, I know. Listen, I know. But they were answer to the whole entire Kobe as well. I mean, they literally had games where Shaq had like 12 and Kobe had like 10. So that whole team defensively was insane. A master class on defense. But here's my pounder.
Yeah, bro. You can't say that, Rob.
To do this night in, night out, and hasn't have to do anything on the defensive end. Anything. He gets it. But here's my pounder. Jokic gets to do this night in, night out, and hasn't have to do anything on the defensive end. Anything. He gets to walk on back.
Oh my God.
And again, he ain't got to guard Alonzo Mourning, Hakeem Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, Rick Smits, Shaq, all these big dudes night in, night out.
Oh my God, thank you, sir. And I'm glad he threw Rick Smits in there because I had some weirdo in my comments trying to knock Rick Smits. He got Rick Smits fucked up. And I'm glad this man said this is exactly what I've been saying. This motherfucker walks up and down the court and literally has to play no defense. When you watch him on defense, he doesn't have to guard anybody. Rudy Gobert scored 19 points on him. Could you imagine if Rudy Gobert could score 19 points on you? Could you imagine what Shaquille O'Neal would fucking do to this man? What Hakeem Olajuwon would do to this motherfucker? What Kareem Abdul-Jabbar would do to this motherfucker? What David Robinson would do to this motherfucker? What Rick Smits would do to this motherfucker? Stop.
Tim Duncan, he gets to just run on back, play a little shadow defense, and he gets to feast on smaller guys. The only real legitimate guys are Embiid, always in and out, AD, who they have some good battles. He usually gets the best of them, but they have good battles. And maybe one or two other guys if I put my brain to it. That's it. So,
fuck Joel Embiid. He's trash. Fuck out of here.
Bonus, maybe. He doesn't have to do anything on the defensive end and guarding Shaq. And Shaq brought up a great point. Shaq would have him playing 7 to 10 minutes less a game because he would either be in foul trouble or they just don't want him to be on him. And you have to do that.
He'll either be in foul trouble or tired as fuck. Or more than likely a combination of both.
Taking body blows. It's a lot. Now, it's not a wash. I think he would obviously mid-range him, pick and pop, still drop dimes.
How many Defensive Player of the Year awards did Shaq win?
Shaq didn't win any.
Oh, okay.
No, Shaq was a much better.
So what? In comparison to Nikola Jokic, he wouldn't probably have a problem at all with Nikola Jokic on defense, and would probably make him look like a great defender. Because Nikola Jokic has nothing close to Defensive Player of the Year on his resume. This motherfucker's never even averaged a block a game. Shaquille O'Neal at least averaged 2. Stop, Rob Parker.
Defender than him.
But not.
I mean, Shaq, when dominant Shaq was swatting a lot of stuff now, Rob.
But not enough to.
He wasn't Dwight.
Not enough to wash what he does offensively.
But do you get what we're saying? When I'm saying Shaq about the foul trouble and getting him, so he can guard Shaq.
I don't agree.
Shaq, he can't
guard. Shaq can't guard him.
But Shaq
can't guard him.